Hi, this is Daryl Buchanan with Guns and Politics. Last weekend when my wife and I were at the range, I had my Taurus TX-22 that we were test firing out there. Normally the TX-22 is a very reliable shooter, but somewhere in the 370 rounds or so that we shot, I had a couple of times where the gun failed to strip around out of the magazine and get it chambered. In other words, a failure to feed. It happened on the same magazine. I number my magazines so I know which one is which. I've got 6 different ones. So what happened was I put the magazine in the gun, racked the slide. That would strip off the top round, the number 1 round, and then the number 2 round was kind of nosedive. Actually, this one is just a little bit nosedive right there, and it didn't strip it and load it in the chamber correctly. In fact, I looked at the round, and I don't have one in front of me, but there was a little divot in the front of the bullet itself. Now, this problem is much more prevalent among hollow point ammunition than round nose ammunition, so normally when I'm plinking and I just want to have some good fun and not worry about a lot of failures, I'll just run some cheap round nose ammunition. The hollow point ammunition really doesn't do much good in your normal 22 pistol, because if you shoot something with it, it doesn't have the zip to cause the hollow point to mushroom or expand. It'll do fine out of a rifle, out of my Ruger 1022 or 1522 or something like that. But out of most of my pistols, expansion of the hollow point is just kind of hit or miss. So what I did was I came back home and took this number 2 magazine apart, and I ran some tests on it. Let me get this thing unloaded here. And in comparing this magazine to all of my other magazines, I noticed, just from a simple test of pushing down on the follower, there was a significant amount of friction on the follower in my number 2 magazine that just simply wasn't there with my other magazines. My other magazines were just smooth as silk all the way up and down. But this one had a little bit of friction, particularly about 1/3 of the way down to about 2/3 of the way down, then pretty good from there. My first attempt to fix this was to take this thing apart, use my Dremel tool, grind off just a small amount of plastic on the follower and polish it and see what that did. Then I shot some Mag Slick in there. Mag Slick is Teflon spray. It helped a little bit, but nothing dramatic or not really usable. So I tried a much simpler approach. I just sprayed Mag Slick in here a couple more times, and I just sat here and worked the tab up and down and up and down and up and down manually 200, 300, 400 times. My goal was to try to manually polish the rough spots off of this thing just from sheer normal wear and tear that you would get on a magazine. And lo and behold, after 200 or 300 times up and down, it did actually improve considerably. I think also what happened was I kept spraying the Mag Slick in there 2 or 3 times, and the Teflon will kind of work its way into cracks and stay, and it may have eventually worked its way in there, and now it's actually not too bad. I believe this is going to be usable. I'm going to take this to the range this weekend and give it a shot. So anyway, this is Daryl Buchanan. Thank you for stopping by, and if you would, hit that subscribe and like button down there. I sure would appreciate it. And thank you very much. Nice, easy, nice, easy spring loading, but the 6th had a definite friction problem inside of it.